Good morning, Stage 1 Biology team. I thought I'd make a quick video to help you out with your Part C of the osmosis investigation, and that is the deconstruction and design. Previously, I've made a video with an example of a deconstruction and design. This video here is aimed at helping you with your specific question. So the question that you've been given is, how do unicellular organisms living in water control the entry or exit of water from their cells? Are they able to live in any environment? How could this be tested? So what I've got on the page here on this Word document are some notes about some of the things I could change if I were to test this question. First thing that sprung to my mind is, which organism would I choose? Is it one living in an ocean? Is it a river system? And what you'll do is put a number of organisms that you could choose and then make a justification, a reason to why you've chosen that one organism. There's a number of independent variables that you could choose for this experiment. That's the things that you test. I focused on the, are they able to live in any environment? There we go. So thinking about what environmental conditions could I change and could I test? I thought I could change the salinity, the salt concentration. I thought I could change the temperature of their environment, maybe their light availability. Think of, are there any other things that you could change in their environment to show that they are or are not able to live in any environment? Remembering that the focus is on the entry and exit of water. So that leads me to my next point. What could we measure? So we're looking at the entry and exit of water. If I can highlight, sure. So how could we measure that? In our previous investigation, we measured the mass before and the mass after, and we said that a change in mass may have reflected on movement of water in or out of the cell. A loss of mass, movement out of the cell. A gain of mass, movement into the cell. So think about, what could you measure here? That would be your dependent variable. Once you've chosen an independent and dependent, then you can think about, what are you going to keep constant throughout your experiment? What are you going to keep the same, and how will you control this? Lastly, you'll look at a number of decisions that you need to make in this experiment. When designing this experiment, you will make those decisions, and then you will justify your decisions and choices. So as I said before, which organism, how much water, what's the concentration of solute? Are you changing that, or is it keeping the same throughout the whole experiment? The type of solute, are you using salt, sugar, something else? The temperature, will that be consistent throughout? And which temperature will you choose? Or are you going to change the temperature to have that as your independent variable? The amount of time, are you going to run this experiment for a week? Why are you going to run it for a week? 1 day, 1 hour? I'm not sure. How many organisms are you going to test within one petri dish or one beaker? Are you going to have a certain number of organisms? How can you control this? What number will you choose, and why are you choosing that number? How many tests will you do? Will you do it once? Will you do it 3, 4, 5 times? How are you going to do that? You make those choices. After you've done those choices, you need to highlight the risks and any ethical considerations. So that's the safety stuff we're talking about before. And ethical considerations is, Is this the right thing to do? Is it right by society? When we are testing on other organisms, I think you can see that there may be some ethical issues there by testing on living organisms. So that's one thing to consider. Then you'll write your method. Think of all the things you need to do to make it a really reliable and accurate method. Try to minimize those minimize the effect of the random errors. And how will you test for systematic errors as well? Just the last reminder, you will not complete this practical. We've already done a completion. I will be assessing your method and your deconstruction, but I will not be assessing your completion of this investigation. Hopefully that helps for how to complete Part C and how to deconstruct your question. Good luck. Please ask questions through Daymap, our Microsoft Teams, email, plenty ways to contact me when you're coming into school face to face. Have a chat. I'm happy to help you out. Cheers.